Life is going to challenge you at some point. When this happens, you have a few choices: deny, cope, or thrive. My biggest fear for as long as I can remember has been failure. Working so hard to reach a certain goal or dream, and then just not achieving it. Whether these downfalls occurred in friendships or academics, I tried my best to avoid failure and just not attempt to do anything that could result in it. However, we all have challenges, don't we? Raise your hand as high as you can if you've ever been unsuccessful at something. Me too. Now, I want us to think about this downfall, how it makes you feel, what it makes you want to feel. But most of all, I want you to think of how you want to fix this struggle. Now, I want you to put it in your nicest crumpled piece of paper, aim for the garbage in the corner of your imaginary room, and throw it away. No matter how deep, how messed up, how hurtful this challenge may make you feel, I want you to toss it away and not let it define you. Look at this chapel. All these people, friends, acquaintances, they understand that we have struggles, and they want to take the same easy, quick, impossible route to overcome it as you do. But I want us to think differently. These disappointments, I believe they eat us up. They make us feel and think a certain way. So what I have to say today, if you take anything from my speech, it is to keep going. Our hardships make us feel too much as if, okay, as soon as I finish this, I'll be done. I'll be able to breathe again. But I want us to think, as soon as I pass this obstacle, they're going to throw another one at me. What if, starting today, the word failure or no didn't stop you anymore? What if you realize that struggles that we endure are actually the secret to our own success? The word no doesn't have to weaken you. In fact, it can empower you to achieve a whole new level of greatness you could never dream possible. Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be talking about a challenge I had during the first few years of my shift to Canada, what was on my mind, and how this very challenge developed me into the 17-year-old Mikail standing before you. Over the past 7 years in Canada, there have been many setbacks that I've had, and I had to learn to deal with these downfalls and disappointments. However, one period of time in my life of more significance tells how I dealt with it and overcame it. You see, throughout my life, I've struggled dealing with challenges or disappointments well. In all honesty, it decapitated me. I no longer have any drive, and the only encouraging factor that I have is the self-pity that I would indulge myself in. The smallest setback could turn my mood from elated to dull, smiley to bitter, and I begin to look to others for recognition that what's happening to me is unjust and wrong, and that I don't deserve it. But I was not able to just settle with the fact that people have issues and mine is dealing with hardships. So I began soul searching and figuring out how exactly I could embrace my downfalls rather than resent them. A few months after moving to Canada, I joined River Oaks Public School. River Oaks was a roller coaster for me. I was at the age where I was almost in middle school, and with a unique accent and own insecurities, it was an adjustment. Nevertheless, I had friends, so don't get me wrong. I went out, hung out with them on the weekends, had birthday parties, and led the normal life of a tween in Canada. But this was the first time in my life where I actually had a struggle. I wasn't treated the nicest by some of the students. I was teased, a few bagels were stolen. But nonetheless, it was a point in my life where I wasn't the most comfortable. I would find myself thinking, why do I have to deal with this? I didn't want to be an anomaly. Each day I had to be poised or holding the feelings and emotions I had, because if I lashed out or tried to stand up for myself, I'd be called a spaz. So instead, I sat quietly, drowning in self-pity. I believe this is an inevitable reaction in any struggle. You ask yourself, why me? Why do I have to go through this? And this is the way I thought for the 2 years I spent at River Oaks, constantly pitying myself and asking, why me, and I don't deserve this. But looking back now, I can see that River Oaks taught me something, and it was to each day get up, get to where I needed to be, and be resilient. It wasn't easy, times where I didn't want to go to school or just wanted to be alone, but I don't wish that this period in my life never happened, or that the experiences I had never occurred. In fact, I believe if it wasn't for the 2 years I spent at River Oaks, I'd be a completely different person. And when it became time to leave in grade 6 and join Appleby in the fall, I had contradicting emotions. On one side of the spectrum, I thought, finally, a new start, clean slate, and a chance for me to truly find myself and eat my bagels in peace. And the other side was, do I really have to deal with this all over again? Of feeling like I'm not good enough or less than? And I had to decide how I'd approach this new chapter in my life. And I was extremely conflicted. But I repeatedly told myself that when I joined Appleby, no challenge I had would interfere with my happiness. I wanted to approach any downfall as an opportunity to transfer it into success. By doing this, I realized I had to work hard, take risks, and not be afraid to fail. Upon arrival at Appleby, I began to notice that this fear of failure immobilizes you, restricts you to your comfort zone, prevents you from moving forward in life, and hampers your chances of success. So my mindset shifted. Although I was afraid that similar events of the past would occur again at Appleby, I tried my best to put it behind me and focus on the importance I placed on working hard and not being afraid to fail. I believe that if you failed at something, you've been courageous and strong. It takes guts to go outside of your comfort zone and become vulnerable. The uncomfortableness we feel isn't always the greatest sensation, and it may make us want to go back into the shell we just escaped from. But I would like to challenge you to not stay confined to your comfortability. If a matter in your life is keeping you from being happy, don't resist it, but learn from it. It is more likely that this setback will help you in the long run, and you will actually grow in resilience. When you're not afraid to fail, you achieve for greater results, inner strength, and perseverance. Today, after almost 6 years as an Appleby student, I still strongly believe that the hardships and setbacks I endured at River Oaks actually helped me develop my personality. I've always admired people who don't back down and have persistence, so it became my long-lasting wish to achieve that exactly. For those of you who know me well, when I think back at my time in elementary school, I laugh. I laugh because I can't understand why I was so troubled by the words of those around me, and now I find it quite comical. And over the March break, I decided that I was going to go visit River Oaks. I had not visited River Oaks since I had left back in 2012. Honestly, I was so scared. But at the same time, when I got there, I was filled with happy emotions. I began to think, not once did I think about River Oaks after I left, and not once did I let it define me. I began to remember all the bad times and how I literally just shut them out. I didn't let what happened during those 2 years define me, and I felt a sense of pride in that. Whatever happened in River Oaks was history, and one that I can smile about because it truly taught me the importance of not letting bad times define you. Now, fellow students, I realize the past few days have been stressful. Many of us are beginning to hear from our top choice universities in Canada, the US, and more. And soon, leadership applications will begin for the grade 11s. I challenge you to stay grounded during this period and realize that if things don't work out, you have more of a reason now to prove those who doubted you wrong. More of a reason. Take this entire situation as a reason to be better and achieve the greatness you never could foresee. All in all, work tirelessly, but at the same time, don't expect anything and appreciate everything. I remember earlier in the year, in grade band, Pete was asking if anyone had a quote to share. And coincidentally, the night before, I was either browsing through brainyquotes.com to write a quote on my quote of the week wall, which my roommates truly admire, or my mom was talking to me, I'm not sure. And I raised my hand and absolutely butchered the quote that actually had a lot of meaning to me. So I share it again today. When what you want does not happen, want what happens. Stay driven and achieve the impossible. We should never view our challenges as a disadvantage. It's important for us to understand that our experience facing and overcoming adversity is one of our biggest advantages. Working hard and hoping to achieve the best results is not the wrong way of thinking. But while doing so, not being afraid to fail will allow you to achieve for better results while learning from your mistakes. Every time in our life, when we're knocked down, people watch to see how you get back up. This is the epitome of my message today. Anytime you feel like your back is against the wall, you failed, I want you to find the incredible energy you have and prove everyone wrong. Be unstoppable because people remember your actions in adversity more than in triumph.